Let me see if the cyber demons are gonna play with my stream. They just love playing with my stream. But what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. I'm gonna just get right into it because it's so funny. I've been busy. I've been trying to keep myself kind of centered on other things. I've been focused on family lately, and I've been checking out of a lot of weird stuff. So I've been kind of my feeds, and I mean, I kind of saw this coming that Kimberly Klacik was going to sue Candace Owens, and I haven't heard a whole lot about that little situation. And I was actually thinking, like the last couple of weeks, like I wonder what happened with those two. Like, did the Republican Party kind of shut them up? Like, look, y'all need to chill, stop. We trying to win 2022. We don't need all this stuff. Because I wasn't really hearing too much about it. But then I ran across an article where apparently Kimberly Klacik is suing Owens for $20 million. Cyber demons. Let me make sure I got my mic because these little demons are busy. Okay, still got my mic. $20 million. Like I'm trying to understand the $20 million in damages. You know what I mean? And anybody who has followed my content, I am my own lone ranger type of person when it comes to my viewpoints. I don't really jump on any movements because it's just safer for me to have as neutral of a perspective on social and political takes as I possibly can. I don't want to be on a bandwagon of any group of people, whether it's right or left. So I'm in the center, and that is my safe place. So my perspectives really do come from the center. Um, but I kind of looked at that situation with Kimberly Klacik and Candace Owens. I looked at it as a conservative fight. Obvious. I feel like Candace Owens was not coming from a very patriotic place, and she has a huge fan base of individuals who will probably disagree with me. A couple of them called me a racist. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? You can't be addicted to people like this. If you're a true Christian, stop worshiping people, stop idolizing people, you know. But, you know, I was just like, look, I'm not a big fan of Candace Owens, right? I look at Candace Owens and people like her as the Al Sharptons for the Republicans. You know what I mean? And I've kind of gotten in tune with a lot of these political, terms. So I just learned about the term grifter, for example. What's up, Marshall? So I just learned about the term grifter, and supposedly these are people who just kind of jump on the scene, make a big noise, and make a lot of money, and then they kind of go off the scene, kind of people. And so I've heard both ladies being called this name, grifters, right? But when I don't know too much about Kimberly Klacik outside of what I saw her, the effort that she put into Baltimore, right? She put a lot of effort into Baltimore. And if you caught my interview with Joe Collins, he explained to me why why their effort was considered flipping the district, even though they did not win their seats. And the reason why is because if you go back to those PVI, they had high PVI districts, 50s. And at the end of the day, they brought those down to in the 20s. So, when you talk about the effort that some of these, up and coming Republican candidates are putting in, they're putting in the work. They're not just talking about Black people's issues. They are in the community. They're talking to people. They're educating them about the process and about the economy. Everybody, to me, is doing their thing in their own way. All right. So with that being said, Candace Owens, about a month or so ago now, she laid out this long diatribe about things about Kimberly Klacik. She pulled out her quote receipts. That's what they call them online. She did her little Nancy Drew thing, and she just started spouting out a bunch of allegations, hearsay about Kimberly Klacik. And I think that any reasonable person would have looked at the backlash of Candace Owens' commentary about that girl, and they would have concluded that it was a defamation of her character. People were calling Kimberly Klacik whores and sluts, and really taking the information that Candace Owens had provided very literally. And here's the thing, nothing has been proven, right? And even with nothing being proven, there was a huge portion of the Republican conservative base that took Candace as law, executed this woman on this torture state without any type of creditable source outside of Candace Owens' feelings and her assumptions about Kimberly Klacik. They ran with it, and they themselves defamed that woman. Real Christian. They love judging people. Real Christian. But this is just to say that I feel like Candace Owens and Kimberly Klacik, I'm getting hot. I don't want to turn on a big fan, but guys, it's getting real hot. Let me know if it's too loud. But I just feel like oh, that one's too loud. But I'm so hot. Hold on, y'all. Hold the phone, because I really do need to turn on one of my air conditioners, because it's not quite that warm. And not quite cool in Michigan. Okay. Sorry about that. I get hot so quickly, maybe because I'm drinking wine too. Sorry. Maybe that was it. I just had a hot flash, but I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm. But so I knew that, that some type of lawsuit was going to come out of that 40 something minute diatribe that Candace Owens, laid out on Instagram and different other platforms about this woman. I knew a lawsuit was going to come out of it, because there were certain things that she was saying that, in my opinion, I just felt like it should have been a little bit more allegation to them. Like, but these were her feelings. This was hearsay that she was going on to a public platform, her large platform, to repeat. Now, here's the thing, $20 million. Obviously, Kimberly Klacik has the burden of proof that she suffered $20 million worth of damages with the things that Candace Owens spouted off, in her little diatribe in response to that Juneteenth exchange between the two of them. But again, when you go and you look at, defamation, there's burden of proof. Like, Kimberly Klacik has to prove that Candace Owens was acting out of malice. Now, that's where it's going to be hard for Candace, in my opinion, because, I'm not no legal expert, but to me, when I looked at that diatribe of Candace Owens in response to that little Instagram exchange between the two of them, I thought that she was being vindictive. I thought she was being malicious. I thought that she was doing what all her little followers believed that she would do, which was destroy that woman's career and her credibility, so that she will never question her commitment to the Black community again. You know what I mean? And it's like, and Candace don't even process, to me, where, I mean, maybe Kim's like, oh, you don't do anything for the Black community. Maybe she felt like, saying that because Black people really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're a Caribbean Black, an immigrant Black, she targeted you. Okay. Those are the ones who are jumping on the Blaxit train, these more conservative immigrant Black, but she's targeting ADOS Black. She's just not. She's not. And that is the biggest part of the Democratic Party is ADOS Blacks. And she does not resonate with them. And so, again, when I always tell people, when you're talking about community, let's talk about right? Because the people who are Blexiting are those individuals, in my opinion, who are not predominantly ADOS. They're just not. And the ones who are breaking away from the Democratic Party, they're not doing it because of Brexit. Has nothing to do with Brexit. A lot of Blacks coming to a lot of realizations before Donald Trump and all of that, right? But here's the thing, black people aren't crazy about the idea of leaving the Democrats from the Republicans, because even Republicans are starting to see that with as many rhinos as they have in that party, you can tell the difference between these damn parties. You really can't. And they keep saying, I'm the party of freedom, you the party. Y'all were the party of freedom. Still live by that code. But the Republican Party needs to be real about some shit. Y'all have been infiltrated by wrongs, by people who are not the party of freedom. They're the party of making money, self-interest, and we'll jump on the socialism train if it benefits us. Right? So, when people try to demean the ignorance of black people because they refuse to leave the Democratic Party, knowing goddamn well the Republican Party days aren't looking any better, they just got a different angle to them. They ain't got all this social justice warrior and all this crazy shit on their brain like the little crazy ass Democrats, the beta people. But they got other shit on their radar that they need to work out, like shelving. Sorry guys, I got a little fly coming in through my window. But like shelving Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, and all of these other weirdo Republicans who, to me, are secret Democrats. That's just me. I feel like some of these people are secret Democrats. And sorry, guys. I was trying to put my shade down because I got my window open. But they're secretly Democrats. So again, getting back to Candace and Kim, I felt like Kim was definitely going to respond with a lawsuit. I didn't realize she was going to pop $20 million on a girl, right? And to me, when you don't have a whole lot of burden to prove, you know what I mean? When you just don't have, to me, I hope she have a whole lot of burden to prove to show that this woman has cost her $20 million, right? She needs to prove that Candace Owens and her little rant, her little candy rant, cost her $20 million, and it may be something where they end up settling for something less. But hopefully, I do want Kimberly Klacik to recover something, because to be honest with you, what Candace Owens did, and I don't care if you're a fan of hers or not, was absolutely ridiculous, out of pocket, and it really did not demonstrate that she is a composed intellectual. People are always talking about, oh, she's a truth bomber, she's all this. To me, Candace Owens demonstrated that she is a beta millennial in that moment, because she acted out of emotions when she was ranting about Kimberly Klacik. And let me tell you something, when you're on an emotional rant and you're trying to destroy somebody, you run into the risk of defamation, baby. And to me, you can't really, to me, what Candace did and her behaviors and the succession of events between their Twitter beef and her little rant and that back and forth between them, to me, it's going to be hard for her to prove that she was not acting in malice, because that looked straight vindictive to me. And when you look at all the events, if Kimberly Klacik got herself a good ass lawyer or whatnot, Candace is going to me, it's going to be hard for her to prove that she was not trying to be malicious. And she claimed, oh, I'm being patriotic and I just want to let Republicans know donating to. But here's the thing, Candace knew all this information that she wanted to truth bomb on Kim Klacik before Juneteenth. Matter of fact, Republicans, a lot of Republicans, inner city, like black Republicans who followed those campaigns in 2020, they knew about Kimberly Klacik's background. They knew about these things. So it's not like Candace Owens she just found information about Kimberly Klacik and now she want to share it with everybody. She knew she was a stripper. Candace knew she was a stripper. Before the Truth Bomb video, she knew it. A lot of Republicans knew that, right? But you took that moment when y'all beefing out to say that. You're going to have a hard time proving you weren't trying to be malicious. And that is one of the things in defamation that needs to be proven. And to me, that whole exchange between the two of them, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Kimberly Clay? I don't think she got a $20 million recovery. Do you think that she has a chance of recovering, or do you think that Candace Owens' presentation of this woman, was out of pocket? Do you think that Candace went too far? Do you think that Candace was justified? From what I see, from what I've followed so far, nothing that Candace has said has been proven, right? The FEC has not filed any type of investigation with Kimberly Klacik. Okay, so when you're talking about money laundering and misappropriating election funds, that has still yet to be proven. Matter of fact, we don't even know if there's an active investigation. Kimberly Klacik haven't owned up to any active investigations. Matter of fact, she was doing an update, I think, a couple of weeks ago about how, hey, it's this August 1st, I think, no investigations, which means absolutely nothing because that kind of stuff can pop up on you anytime once they have all the evidence. You know, I feel like Candace divulged a lot of information about the woman's family that was unnecessary. She kept harping on the fact that the woman was a former stripper. She alluded to, and I was confused in her diatribe whether or not Kimberly Klacik was still stripping or was that a former thing, because the way that she was talking 1,000 miles an hour, I'm like, so wait, is Kim still stripping? Did she just kind of put a hold on the pole to see if she can have a chance at being at the polls? Like, what's going on? Like I really did not understand that rant, and kind of some of the information that she put out. And so, again, having receipts is great. Having receipts is great, but it's how you put those receipts together. You can articulate a juicy, defamation that really destroys somebody, but you can put together receipts in a way and cannot be proven, with any other federal agency, and therefore you can get sued. So I am interested to see how this plays out. I really am. I really am, because I feel like Candace Owens has kind of been on a humble train. She doesn't be keeping her mouth shut because, and here's the thing, it's like, if Candace really was absolutely firm that everything that she was saying about Kimberly Klacik was true, right? I don't think Candace is the type of person that will really back down from something that's not true. I feel like she needs that clout. She needs that attention. I feel like she would have kept going with it in some way, but she shut the fuck up real quick after them lawyers came into play, because she knew that she might have crossed a line. Because a lot of people were questioning it. My thing is, again, destroy somebody, that's great, but in the process of destroy somebody else, you so-called Christian, you might be destroying your own damn self. And I said it time again, Candace Owens' mouth is going to be the thing that destroys her. And hopefully, after all this stuff is clear, these two ladies can, you know, move on with their career and be a lot more smarter. But intelligence to me is is a very level thing. You know what I mean? And when I look at Candace Owens, she's smart. She's a smart young black woman who basically can take anything that anybody else say that's smart and repeat it and basically appeal to somebody. Because nothing that Candace Owens says to me is nothing that I haven't heard across black conservative perspectives. Anybody, Larry Elder or Thomas Sowell, and become a black Republican expert at something. I think they are both over the top with their self presentations. Stirring up extremists is not that hard, but these types of angry tirades will not bring support from the mainstream. And, it's unfortunate, and I'm not saying that all black need to be kumbaya, because even conservatives are not monolithic. You know what I mean? You have your degrees of black conservatives who think certain ways. You know what I mean? But I just feel like Candace was like, at first I really bought into her when I moved over to the more conservative mindset. But then as I continued to observe her, I really started seeing a reoccurring pattern that was very similar to Democratic race hustlers. Kimberly Klacik, I saw somebody who was from Baltimore who saw a issue within her district and wanted to make a difference, but she could have been a prop. Because, like I said, Republicans knew that the woman had a stripper background. And not saying that strippers can't run for Congress, or former strippers can't run for Congress, not at all. But if you're still involved with that lifestyle, obviously, that's something that you would want to address. But it seemed like to me that was a lifestyle that Kimberly Klacik abandoned, and and it was misrepresented. So, I mean, I wish these ladies the best in what they do. I wanted to talk about the gay agenda a little bit before I sign off. And I'm not a homophobic, so I don't want anyone to take this way. My neighbor and I, we were just kicking it last night, and him and his boyfriend. I don't judge people. I think that judgment is left up to God. You know what I mean? And how anybody chooses to live their life is their business. My job is to respect human beings who respect me. You know what I mean? So my neighbor and I, we were talking about the gay agenda, and he was talking about how he feels like a lot of these mainstream gay people, or these mainstream people who are jumping on the gay train, are not really gay. And I thought that was very interesting coming from a gay man. I am no lawyer either. Obviously, Candace was malicious, but no way will Kim be able to prove $20 million in damages. Nah. No, like when I said, I'm like, come on, Kim. Come on, Kim. Like, I mean, come on, Kim. 20 million, it's like, that's a hell of a burden of proof. I mean, because that's assuming that, your book was going to be so fucking awesome that you was going to sell so many copies that you was going to make 20 racks. I don't get it. That was a little exaggerating for me. Like, but hey, maybe she knows what she's doing. Maybe she knows more about the damages she suffered. I mean, because people have been calling her whores. They've been calling her by her former stripper name. I mean, I've seen conservatives really go in Kimberly Klacik because of what Candace Owens said about her. I mean, and you know that I still don't know if saying something like what Candace Owens said is $20 million in damages. I mean, like I said, she has a hell of a burden of proof with that. And honestly, I'm a little like, I don't know, her legal counsel told her to do this because Candace Owens has a net worth that she could recover that theoretically. And I mean, Candace ain't broke, neither is her. You know what I mean? But I'm wondering, did legal counsel say, yeah, let's go for $20 million, and then the judge can bring it down to whatever, but regardless, you're probably going to walk out multi-millions. She may be able to do that if she can prove, that Candace cost her business opportunities, right? And donors too. So we'll see. But getting back, I saw a picture of Lil Nas X, and he was talking about his new album release, and somebody photoshopped him as being a pregnant bride, right? And here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not about to judge anybody. Lil Nas X can do whatever the hell he wants to, because judgment is with who I believe is the Lord, right? He may not even believe in the Lord. He has literally set allegiance to the devil. And I feel like Lil Nas X and people like him, like these little agendas that they keep coming up with, I think that these people are machinations of the devil. And this, I is, but living in the revelation, y'all. We are living in revelations, and if you are not right with God, I would say get right with God. Please get right with God, because we are living in a time where we're going to see things continue to go from bad to worse. Like nothing in this world will ever be the same. And we're going to see more and more extreme things happening. And we're going to be forced by way of popular demand to do it. And as Christians, tell people, keep your spiritual guard up. You know what I mean? Don't buy into little colorful things for the name of art. Oh, he's just being artistic. No, he's glorifying satanic behaviors. And he's perpetuating that in the black community. And he's targeting young men and boys to buy into this disgusting, deviant behavior. And my thing is, it is, if you want to be gay, bi, transgender, that's your business. That's your business. It's not my job to make you feel better about a psychological decision that you have made for your life. But I don't think that, like, my neighbor and his boyfriend and even another gay male couple that I know, these men would be equivalent to alpha gay men because they are men. They're men. They're like, we're guys. Like, I'm like, we don't do crazy pronouns. We're guys. Guys act like men. They act like men. They don't wear their sexuality on their sleeves. They don't wear their gayness on their sleeves and their gay behaviors on their sleeves. Just like most heterosexual people that I know don't run around, I'm heterosexual, right? There's a lot of loose people, nasty people in the world who don't respect the temple that is their body, whether they're gay or straight. Whether you're gay or straight, there's a lot of loose, nasty people that don't respect their bodies. And when you see people like Lil Nas X, kind of simulating orgies with multiple men, that shit does not like inspire anybody to want to, like, to me, it doesn't inspire anybody to want to do anything but engage in deviant type behaviors and think that those types of behaviors are okay. And I just tell people to protect your kids. You know what I mean? Satan is busy. We are living in the revelation. We are living in a revelation, and shit is going to get even crazier. It's going to get even more bizarre. If things are unfathomable for you right now, wait until, and this is why we need our spiritual strength and our spiritual armor, because I feel like Christians are going to be attacked at some point. Because these agendas to break up the family, deconstruct the family any creative way they can, the more male female situations you have, the less family structure you have. The more black females you have out here disrespecting their temples, more black men you have, and this is men and women in general, no even race. More people you have disrespecting their temple and having a blatant regard for the structure of a family, having children out of wedlock and not giving a fuck about those kids. Let me tell you, I have a cousin, and I'm not close to this cousin. He's a biological cousin, and his 15-year-old son was killed in a car accident a couple of days ago. Never was involved in a boy's life, and he had such unnatural affection for this child that I remember when they were young, family would have to pitch in to make sure those babies ate. They would bounce around from different families' house, and then, when their mom wasn't doing right, the mama had like several other kids after them. And I keep telling, some of these young black women, stop having kids you cannot afford to take care of. You cannot be that lonely that you out here in these streets dating this man, and you're having unprotected sex with these men, having multiple children that neither you or he can take care of, and you're not even thinking about that. People need to stop living in the moment and stop producing these babies that they're screwed. That is a pattern. People are having kids that they are screwing up, and these people are growing up to be screwed up people in society. But that is because the nuclear family has been disbanded in every colorful way. You listen to the music. Black love is not being promoted. It's okay, forget you. I'm on to the next. You just did this, you just did that. I'm gonna go talk to your girl. All this promiscuous behavior. And Dr. Claude Anderson said it right. Black economics is always going to be on the decline in America because of our behaviors. So I just wanted to put those things out there to you guys, food for thought. You know, let me know what you think about this in the comments. And if you like this video, please share it, engage. I'm going to try to do a little bit more on YouTube, but I'm kind of tired of this platform. They keep censoring my videos and all this. Like, I'm just not with cyberspace to deal with all this censorship. So I get on when I feel like it. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. We're going into the weekend, so have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you all later. And don't be defamating people's characters. Like, if people make you emotional, the best thing to do is just to tap out of the discussion and let them have whatever. Because I mean, I feel like nothing that Kimberly Klacik said to Candace Owens, should have really ignited all that Nancy Drew FBI shit that she did. But she wanted to be extra. She demonstrated she had a beta personality, and she went the distance on some crazy stuff. There's a chance Kim can win. Candace worded her statements carefully. She needs a great attorney. I don't feel like Candace was careful with her wording, though. I don't feel like Candace was careful with her wording at all. In fact, I did a video on this, and I was just like, I was confused at a lot of the statements that she made as if they were current. So, I mean, Kim has a good chance of recovering. I just don't think 20 million. You're going to have to, that's burden of proof right there. You know what I mean? I don't think she's going to recover 20 million, but I do think that she has a chance of some kind of recovery, because my thing is, if you go back and you look at all of Candace's diatribe and you look at all of that, just that whole event that happened between those two ladies, right? Defamation, one of the criterias of proof is you have to prove that Kim Klacik has to prove that Candace Owens was acting out of malicious intent. And I'm sorry, a 44-minute diatribe about some stuff that you done dug up in somebody's past after you done beef with them on Twitter, that don't look nothing but malicious to me. Like, what do y'all think? Is it malicious? I mean, because that, like, when I was looking at that video, I was like, Candace being vindictive as hell. I'm like, I can't say if anything that she's saying is not true, but I'm just saying that she's coming off mad vindictive with this video right now because they done had a Twitter beef. And that's one of the things that Kim Klacik, they play all that stuff in court or whatever. Candace Owens better have a rock, if she really a rock hard, because you ain't going to have Larry Elder or Thomas Hole to repeat to sound intelligent. You going to have to fuck you did. Why did you feel it was necessary to investigate her to do that? What was your purpose in doing that? And then, I mean, I think it was, she even said in that Instagram video that she had knowledge of the information that she was sharing, but she just didn't share it. So I'm like, there's a whole lot of questions where if you knew that this was, if you knew that if you had this information before and you knew this about, why weren't you trying to put Republicans on the alert then? You know what I mean? She has a lot to answer for as to her why, and I'm interested in understanding that. Chances are they are both a little overzealous. Ain't no kidding. I think the Republicans prop Candace Owens up to be this superhero for Black people, that she was going to go save all the Black people from the Democratic Party with Blexit, their hijack movement. Because that is a hijacked movement, in my opinion, because Blexit did not originate with Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. There was another young lady that had a Blexit movement, and it had nothing to do with getting Black people from the Democratic Party onto the Republican Party. Everything to do with Black economic power and moving Blacks from the mainstream banking systems into Black-owned banks. That was the original Blexit. But the girl didn't put the paperwork in on time. How that story. So, but that's just to say, I feel like a lot of these little talking heads, They repeat everything. They repeat everything they hear down there. Like when I hear Candace Owens talk, I don't hear Thomas Sowell talking. You know what I mean? Candace Owens is not Thomas Sowell. You know what I mean? Like to me, Candace Owens repeats Tom along with other people that she hears talk. And then she's like, oh, let me sound intelligent with that because I have a big platform and nobody's listening to any other black conservatives but me because I'm the face of black republicanism. And then you had Kim Klacik, this equally beautiful black woman who was making her strides in the same damn party. And I'm sorry, I looked at Candace Owens as looking at that woman as a threat. She was her as a threat, in my opinion, because to me, it just seems a little off to me. That whole diatribe wasn't just Juneteenth that set ladies off. A Twitter beef on Juneteenth did not set these two ladies off. They had beef with each other, I believe, before this spat. And it only escalated. And I think the more and more Kim Klacik was making strides in the Republican Party, showing her face, being visible on the networks because she was getting airtime too at Fox and the different other networks, just like Candace. I think that was straight competition. And Kimberly Klacik is a beautiful woman, just like Candace Owens. She is. They're two beautiful black women, and they're smart. They're smart. I found this channel because of your response to Klacik and Owens, and I'm glad I did. I try to be in the middle. I don't like anybody pandering to black issues using their black faces, and that's why I'm leery about Candace Owens. And like I said, I haven't always just not cared for her. I got the girl's book back. I supported her at one point, but to me, I could not rock with Candace Owens after her George Floyd commentary and after just some observations that made it hard for me as a black conservative to resonate with my own people without making it clear that I was disassociated from that. And that is how a lot of conscious black conservatives have to play it when they are trying to resonate to the core Democratic base. We don't rock with Candace Owens. No, that's a whole different program. We have to do that. We have to. Because like I said, just like the Democrats got their L Sharptons and their little blackface panders to black issues, the Republicans have it too. And the thing is, what they do is they appeal to the sensibilities of what most people logically think. Like, why are black Americans, a lot of people think about the patterns of black Americans. But instead of explaining those patterns in an educated way, a lot of extreme conservatives pander to them as if black people are this big group of unintelligent people. And when they see somebody like Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum, they're like, oh my God, intelligent black people do exist. And it's like, no, there's a lot of intelligent black conservatives who aren't talking heads for anybody. They just know how to resonate with people and make sense. And so, like I said, I wish both of those ladies, much success. I feel like their mission turns people over to, a conservative mindset. I think it's notable. I think that we all could use a lot more Democratic blacks growing up and becoming conservative. You know how they say when you're young, you're liberal, and when you get around 40, you're conservative. But unfortunately, with certain segments of America, they stay liberal, and we need to get under progressing, because I believe that once you achieve conservatism, pure conservatism, I'm talking about the conservatism that I feel like I embrace. It is a moment of absolution. It is a moment of clarity. It is a moment where your critical thought process, it elevates, right? That's pure conservatism when you understand the traditionalism and down to the Bible and the prophets and the time that we're living in. That's pure conservatism right there. When you recognize that your faith is in God, not in man. When you recognize that you spread a message not for you to be lorded over, not for you to be praised by any other men, not for people to be your followers and loyalists and all that stuff. You are there to put the word of God out there. you're speaking on God's behalf, trying to get people to wake up as the times that they're living in. And, you have to have that divine balance between, political and social commentary and the commentary that people really need, which is getting back into the Bibles and getting back to God, because I don't think that this is more of a spiritual war than a war of man. You are not a pure conservative. You're not looking at the world through the lens that God wants you to look through it at. And I'm sorry, like I said, I like people who like my content. It's like it, share it, but don't ever praise me, don't ever worship me, don't ever put me on any type of throne, because I will reject it. I will reject it. We got to just spread the word of God and spread the true message without trying to be glory. And I think in this situation like this, we have Candace Owens and Kimberly Klacik. It's like, you're dealing with glory whores. These people want the attention and the accolades and the acceptance of the people on earth, to lord over them in some way. And this is, to me, it's not pure conservatism. It's not all physical. No, it's not all physical. I mean, it's spiritual. I mean, I hear people say, Candace, she's so smart, she's so intellectual, she's so beautiful. And it's like, you know what? Candace Owens does not spiritually edify me at all. If anything, I would equivalent her more to a demon angel. Because ain't like, to me, a person of God don't go after people the way that Candace Owens have gone after people. You know what I mean? It's like they just don't. She's just a millennial to me. Really. I'm not about to sit here and put my faith in a millennial like that. I can respect her for her hustle, things that she has been leveraged to do for the Republican Party, right? But Brexit was a failure. And I think that, to me, that credibility, all of that is not important to me. And I wish Candace Owens the best. And I wish Kimberly Klacik the best. And she seems like she's still going strong, keeping it moving, and not being bothered by this petty thing. She let her lawyers handle it. So we will see. We will see. But let's see how much Kimberly Klacik get, though. How many people think she's going to get $20 million? You think that she's going to be able to sue Candace Owens and get $20 million? I doubt it. I would love to see that amount of damage. I really would. I mean, $20 million. She must have been writing a hell of a book. I mean, from the pole to the polls. I mean, if she would see, honestly, here's the thing. Kimberly Klacik, if she get hot enough in the Republican Party, she could sell a good book. She could. From the pole to the polls, she will inspire every stripper. She will inspire them. Like, you don't have to do this. Look at Kimberly Klacik. She was a stripper, and she worked hard. She put in the work in the Republican Party, and now she's here. You know what I mean? Kimberly Klacik could end up being somebody's swan song. You know what I mean? So don't disrespect the strippers, the current or the former, because everybody can change their life in different ways and actually impact the world much better than the people who like to judge them. So that's my little spiel on this. You all have a wonderful evening, and don't be defamating nobody's character. $20 million might cost you.